Now we want to take you overseas. Russia accusing Ukraine of trying to assassinate President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin says that Putin survived 2 Ukrainian drone attacks overnight. Now, this video is circulating online, and it appears to show objects flying above the Kremlin, then seeming to explode above the roof of the Senate Palace building. Putin's spokesperson says that Russia shot down the drones before they hit their intended target. President Zelensky says his country had nothing to do with the alleged attack.
We don't attack Putin or Moscow. We fight on our territory. We are defending our villages and cities. We don't have, enough weapon for this. That's why we don't use it anywhere. For us, that is the deficit. We can't spend it. And we didn't attack Putin.
And more videos circulating now online, appearing to show the aftermath of the alleged attack. Here's Secretary of State Antony Blinken earlier today.
Well, first, I've seen the reports. I can't in any way validate them. We simply don't know. Second, I would take anything coming out of the Kremlin with a very large shaker of salt. So let's see. We'll see what the facts are. And it's really hard to comment or speculate.
ABC News foreign correspondent Marcus Moore joining us now from Dnipro, Ukraine, along with ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy. Marcus, what more are we learning about this alleged drone attack right now? And I emphasize alleged drone attack.
Alleged is the key word, Kira. We understand that these drone attacks or alleged drone attacks happened overnight. The first one at 2:27 in the morning, according to Russian officials, and that the second drone arrived there over the Kremlin about 16 minutes later. And you just showed the video. It's a really striking video showing what appears to be a small drone flying over the Senate Palace building there and then erupting in flames. That's really all we know about this at this point. The Russians saying that this was an attempted assassination on the part of the Ukrainians trying to assassinate President Putin, who, by the way, was not there at the Kremlin at that time. And that's all we know at this point, Kira. Certainly a lot of details left to come out, but people are viewing this a number of different ways. Is this a provocation? Is this a false flag on the part of the Russians? Or is this indeed a Ukrainian drone? While they have denied it, was this a Ukrainian drone, or at least a sympathizer operating in Russia for the Ukrainians?
All right, so Mick, does Ukraine even have drones that can go that far?
So, Kara, the drone that they use the most is called a TB2, and it has a range of about 180 miles. From shooting anywhere in Ukraine, it would be 300 miles to get to Moscow. So that's going to be one of the factors that our intelligence community looks at to try to determine just what this was and what this wasn't.
So then, Mick, a civilian just happened to be up at 2 a.m. filming this. I mean, you and I were talking about that. Okay, let's put that into the question here. So real proof or propaganda?
Well, I do think that's going to cause pause, and when it comes to trying to do the evaluation of where this drone came from, whether it was a false flag done by the Russians, potentially on a pretext to do something significant in Ukraine, or whether it was Ukrainians. That's going to be one of the factors. Like, why was somebody up filming what looks to be a handheld camera of some sorts, the Kremlin, at 2 a.m.? Possible, but unlikely. It's just going to be one of the factors they look at.
So, Marcus, are the Ukrainians concerned of potential retaliation now from Russia, despite denying involvement here?
Yeah, I mean, they've been concerned about attacks on their country since the beginning, right? And certainly they will view this as a false flag, a pretext for Russia to try to justify any strikes that go on from this day forth. And there have already, Kira, been a number of missile strikes and airstrikes on cities here in Ukraine, including Kherson, where at least 16 civilians were killed just today alone. And so they are highly vigilant. Here in Dnipro, we have heard the air raid sirens going off just this evening. And so this war is very real for the people here in Ukraine. That has not changed, and they are certainly determined to keep up the fight. And then to Mick's point, back to the drones, if you will. It is important to point out that Ukraine, according to officials, has carried out drone strikes before. And so this is not the first time that they have, again, allegedly managed to strike deep inside Russia. This is just the latest incident. And the big question now is the counteroffensive. Is this the start of the planned counteroffensive? We don't know at this point, but certainly a lot of people are looking at it as potentially being part of the start, but we don't know.
All right, Marcus Moore, Mick Mulroy. Guys, thanks so much. We'll follow it, of course.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.